Orange.
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 Carolina.
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 Carolina. Carolina.
Carolina.
Carolina. On.
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 Own.
Own.
O.
Oil.
Oil. Oil.
Oil.
Oil.
Oil. Caramel. Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel.
My name is Robin, and I lived in Davidson County, North Carolina until I was 9 years old. When I was 9, we moved to California. We stayed in California, mostly the Bay Area, until I was a senior in high school. After that, we moved back to Virginia Beach. Or we moved to Virginia Beach, not back to Virginia Beach. And I stayed there for several years, and I currently live in North Carolina, where I have lived for the last 20 years.
My name is Maria. I'm from Benson. I lived there for 4 years. Before that, I'm from Bowie's Creek and lived there pretty much all my life.
Hey, my name is Adam, and I'm from Kinston, North Carolina.
I'm Caitlin Williams, and I am from Eli Whitney, North Carolina.
My name's Layla. I'm from LaGrange, North Carolina.
My name is Vicky, and I'm from Davidson County, North Carolina.
My name is Daniel, and I'm from Kinston, North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Tristan, and I'm from Asheville, North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Noah, and I'm from Albemarle, North Carolina.
Yes. My mom has a lot thicker accent than I do. She says water and oil, but I always say water and oil.
Oh yeah, very thick accents. Everybody in my family does have really, really thick accents.
Not quite as bad as me, honestly. Yeah.
Yes, my parents talked with an accent. My mother, not so much as my dad, but my mother had a really bad accent. A very country accent. She had a lot of words that she pronounced funny. For example, basement. She called it a basement. And when she said ambulance, she said ambulance.
I wouldn't say they would. I would say all our family has a slightly southern accent because we've always lived in the North Carolina, kind of southern little small rural towns. But I would nothing really dramatic that I've noticed.
Yeah, they do. Probably, I think we probably talk about the same. My dad may be a little different just because he was originally from Ireland, but he pretty much grew out of that accent, so.
I don't think anyone in my immediate family talks with an accent, but sometimes my mom will say certain words that are really southern, but I definitely have the least accent out of everyone in my family.
Yes. My mother and daddy spoke, I called it Georgia Cracker accent because they were from South Georgia, and they have a very distinct accent. Mama not as much as Daddy, but Daddy was born there and raised there. Mama was born in Florida.
Do my parents talk with an accent? My dad is from West Virginia, so he has a slight accent, but I wouldn't say that my mom has an accent, and she was raised in a more hick place than I was.
Yes, and my environment influences the way I talk. I lived in New Orleans for 3 years, and when I came back from there, I sounded like I was born and raised there.
I don't know, because I don't really sound like my parents or my grandparents. I'm kind of like neutral. I don't know.
The area and my grandparents, who I stayed with a lot as kids, had really thick accents. So, yes, yeah, certainly.
I would say the people that in my family have influenced the way I talk more so than where I've been living because we've moved around to several different places while I was growing up, so each one kind of had a different feel. It's still kind of the smaller North Carolina town feel, but I wouldn't say that any of them had an incredible dramatic effect on how I speak compared to other people, compared to how my family members influence that.
Probably the area, I would say, because I feel like a lot of people talk like me where I'm from.
I think it's a mixture of both. Where I'm from is very rural country farm life, so I do believe that has an influence. And my parents are from different ends of the county, so that has an effect also.
I think the way my family talks did influence the way I talk.
I don't know if it influenced how I talk, but stands to reason it would. I lived with them all my life. They taught me how to talk.
Yeah, when I go up to West Virginia, my grandparents who live there, they always make fun of more of the vernacular that we use, rather more than our accent. It's more like we say soda instead of pop, and we use a lot of ain'ts and y'alls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I went on a vacation one time and I was talking, like, I was on the pool deck and I was talking up to someone in the balcony, and the people on the pool deck were like, "Oh my gosh, your accent is so cute." And they were like from up north somewhere, and I was like, "What accent?" I was like 8 years old at that time.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere I go outside of like the southeast, I pretty much get roasted for my accent because it's apparently quite strong.
So I went to Ireland like the summer before last, and it was really different because they talk obviously in a different accent. So when I went, they were like, "Oh, you talk really country," and the way I said "y'all," like they never really had heard of that. So yeah, it was definitely different. Being surrounded by like other people that talk different. So yeah, they definitely thought I talked really different.
Yes. I never go anywhere that somebody doesn't ask me where I'm from. Um, I worked for years in an office, and I did business with people in Boston. And this one girl, I don't remember her name, but she couldn't understand me, and I couldn't understand her. It was really funny.
I have been somewhere where somebody's acted strange about my accent. I was actually at Disney World, and we were on the bus, and there were Canadians. And of course, my dad was just like asking them how the maple syrup was up there. But they were just like, "Your accents are so unique. Where are you from?" And the little girl spoke up. She's like, "They're from Mississippi." And I'm like, "No, we're from North Carolina." And it was strange hearing their accent and our accent because it was very different.
The people in California thought I talked very funny. As in Gomer Pyle and Jimmy Carter. They used to ask me where my peanut farm was. And one time when I was in the 8th grade, I forgot to put my name on my paper, and we had to pass our paper to our person next to us. And when after I passed my paper, the guy said, "Hey, Gomer, you forgot to put your name on your paper." And I said, "Well, put it up there." So a couple days later, the teacher was calling our names out to come pick up our papers, and she got to my paper, and she yelled out, "Gomer Pyle, whose paper is this?" Well, it was my paper because the guy next to me put Gomer Pyle up there for my name.
I went to New York with my friend Sierra, and somehow we were with this like male model and then this other model because I was like taking pictures of them and stuff. And they said that Sierra had a really strong like Southern accent, but that they couldn't tell anything about me. So yeah, I guess I just don't really sound like I have any sort of just talk normal English, I guess.
I've never really traveled anywhere outside of North Carolina and South Carolina, Virginia. All my friends said I need to go somewhere, but I never really noticed anyone saying anything about my accent when I travel. So.
I mean, my dad says "own" instead of "on," and none of my family says can't. It's can't.
No, just Southern, like they're like y'all, or just saying stuff like that. I can't think of any specific words. My grandma has weird phrases. Stuff like, I don't know.
Yeah, not a lot. My community, we say like ass and rice a lot. We put like the emphasis on that. One saying my family uses a lot is running around with like a chicken with your head cut off. Don't know what it means, but I just go with it. But yeah, there's a lot of words, particularly y'all was used a lot. I mean, y'all's used everywhere in the South, but y'all, thank you kindly, stuff like that.
Well, like I said, some vocabulary we use that is kind of unique to our family is just kind of your typical Southern, like y'all and down yonder and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really say any really unique vocabulary.
Unique to where I'm from. No, not really. I'm sure there used to be. I just can't remember them.
After having lived in the middle of the state, which is the Davidson County area, and living on the northeast North Carolina section, I noticed that people talk different from the coast than people do in the middle of the state.
Like a dentist that I used to work for, like her family used to say elk or something like that. It was something that was like particular to where she came from, and she lived in North Carolina. But she told me it was like when she came here and started saying that, people were like, "What are you saying?" Like they had no idea what she was talking about.
Words like y'all or anything like that.
I don't think I'd ever say that I felt set apart. I don't think I've traveled that much, and I'm the type of person that when somebody makes fun of me, I just kind of take it and make fun of them back. So like the people who make fun of me have been from West Virginia, and that's like the easiest place to make fun of ever.
Yes, I have. Especially, like I say, I was in business for a long time and worked with people from the deep south to way north, and the northern people would, I felt belittled the way they spoke about my accent.
We came back from California and we moved to Virginia. People said I talked very slow, or that I was stuck up because I talked funny.
Yes, I feel like people might think I'm stupid or like not as smart as I actually am just because of the way like I speak.
I don't think so.
I'm very, very hard to get. It's very, very hard for me to get offended by anything. Some of my friends have joked that I sound like a really Southern, and also I get really weird. People say sometimes I sound Irish or Scottish. But I think it's just kind of funny and amusing that they think so, because I've never thought so myself. So I would say that there is a common belief that people who have Southern accents give an impression of lower intelligence, but then there's other stereotypes of where people say like people with British accents are considered to be more intelligent. So I think there's different stereotypes associated with different like regional like dialects and accents.
When I was in high school, I took a class here in Chapel Hill, and I was the only one with a Southern accent. So everyone made fun of me. And it was even worse because it was a Spanish class. And I said hola wrong, and I said, ¿Cómo estás? You know, how are you wrong? And everybody made fun of me, and I was just like, darn accent.
I mean, I guess people have meant to be insulting about it, but I haven't been insulted. Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, some people think people assume lack of intelligence because they hear a Southern accent, but I ain't worried about it.
So I never feel like I've been looked down on. If anything, I've just been neutral, or like people thought maybe I had better education because I don't have really like a brogue or anything. So yeah, I haven't seen people necessarily bully for it, but I guess people generally think that when someone talks really Southern, they're not as educated as someone from like up north. I feel like that's just a general idea or belief. But I haven't seen someone like made fun of for it. But I think it's because I am in the South, and so it's just kind of like normal. And then if you don't have a Southern accent, it's just like fine, you know.
Well, the only thing I can really think of is, like I say, I'm a product of my environment. When I go somewhere and stay a long time, I tend to sound like the locals, the people there. And it did happen when I was in New Orleans. When I came back, you couldn't tell that I wasn't born and raised there. And my daddy just could not stand it. He really, it bothered him. I think he was afraid that he was going to lose me. I was going back, and he just didn't want to lose all of me to Louisiana. But I lost it pretty quickly after I got home to stay.
I remember I had an uncle because he died. He was one of the first people I really noticed an accent on, and I can't remember exactly where he was from. I think he was from Jersey or something like that, but he talked very strange, and I was able to realize it before. But in general, I wasn't really able to recognize accents much before that. Everyone just kind of sounded the same.
Recently, in a class at Carolina, our professor started playing country music over the speaker, and I looked at this girl who sits next to me, who I'd become friends with, and I said, "Man, I really don't like country music very much." And she said, "You don't like country music, but you're so country." And I was like, "I beg to differ." I was like, "Are you serious?"
Well, a lot of people assume that I know Spanish, and I was adopted whenever I was 9 months old from Guatemala. So whenever they see me, they automatically think I'm going to have a Hispanic accent, but I don't. I sound country, and they get really confused. And
Well, when I used to work for this company that was based out of Massachusetts, I went for a meeting once, and they made a big to-do after the meeting was over about how I should come back, because they really enjoyed listening to me talk because I was so country. So after that, I always made it a point that when I was dealing with any of my supervisors or anybody from up north, that I tried to not be as country, as they called it.
I did have a teacher one time that I turned a paper in for that I had spoken to, and they just were shocked when I turned the paper in because the grammar was perfect and everything, and they just had no concept that I could talk the way I talk and still write well. So,
So I think some interesting experiences I've had in my life with accents and dialects, well, main accents, because I don't really speak any other dialects other than English, like your typical American English. But I have, since I moved to UNC Chapel Hill and started college at UNC, I've met people from other parts of the United States and just other parts of North Carolina who had, I wouldn't say they had really different accents from the people I met in North Carolina, but a lot of my friends have told me that I have a very different, unique accent compared to my twin brother and my family, or just Southern in general, although they say I have a Southern accent. I just think it's funny because I keep on asking, sometimes it comes up that people, sometimes I've met someone and just talking to them for a few seconds, and then they're like, "Hey, where are you from?" Asking I'm not from North Carolina, and I say, "Oh, I'm from North Carolina." And they're like, "Really? I thought you'd be from Ireland or Scotland or something." I've actually gotten that a lot, so I guess that's kind of an interesting experience.
My boyfriend always makes fun of me because I say phone, like telephone, and fawn, like a baby deer, the same, and on and own, like the same. So when I say I'm on the phone with the fawn I own, if I say it in my normal voice, I'm on the phone with the fawn I own. So embarrassing.
My best friend is also from about the same area I'm from, and she has family in deep Georgia, like deep backwoods Georgia. And she looked at me one day. She's like, "Are you not from Georgia?" I was like, "No, I'm not from Georgia." She's like, "You sound like you're from Georgia." I was like, "No, I'm from North Carolina. I have a North Carolina accent." And I've actually been told that I could be from Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. I'm just like, "No, I'm a North Carolina girl." Pecan.
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 Swallow.
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 Time.
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 Tom.
Time.
Time. Talk.
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 Water.
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 Water.